Alright, so I just finished Thrawn Ascendancy, Greater Good. And I'll probably be making some videos about this book. So what I want to talk about in this video is that this is the first time that the Grysk are mentioned in the very last chapter. And what's really interesting about it is there's this character named Jixtus. He is the master manipulator behind the scenes of everything that's trying to maneuver certain events throughout this whole novel. And he was actually name dropped in the first novel. We didn't know anything about Jixtus in the first novel. And in the second novel, throughout the whole book, he was described as a hooded alien. So we didn't know, what he looked like. We don't know, what his species looked like, which I'm about to get to. He is a member of the Grysk, as he talks about.
When the assignment Keylori was handed identified his job as guiding an unnamed person in an unflagged ship, he was pretty sure what was going to happen somewhere along the way. He was right.
I'm sorry I can't deliver a better report.
He apologized when he finally ran out of words.
Calm yourself, Pathfinder,
Jixtus said, his gloved fingers tapping gently on the edge of his contoured chair.
I never expected this to mark the end of the Chiss Ascendancy. They're more resilient than that.
He paused, and Keylori had the sense of an evil smile behind the black veil.
Though perhaps not nearly as resilient as they think.
Jixtus paused, the robed shoulders giving a little shrug.
You were right to be concerned about this Chiss officer, though. I'll be sure to add Senior Captain Thrawn into our calculations in the future.
I would definitely recommend that,
Keylori said, his cheek winglets twitching.
I wish I could offer some hints on how to defeat him.
Defeat isn't always necessary,
Jixtus said.
Isolation and neutralization can be equally effective. My more immediate concern is the fact that you left Hapleaf's body behind for the Chiss to examine.
That wasn't my decision,
Keylori said hastily, feeling his winglets starting to flutter.
Simkeef saw that the Zodlak Rancher had killed him and ordered the pilot to get clear.
Again, Pathfinder, calm yourself,
Jixtus said, more severely this time.
The Grysks lay blame only where it's deserved, and only on those who fail us. Each of our servants is responsible solely for his own decisions and actions, not for another's.
Yes, sir,
Keylori said, feeling his winglets and his tension subside. Grysks. He'd never heard of a species by that name. Or a faction, if that's what they were. Or a combine, or a gang, or something else entirely. A name by itself really didn't contain much information. But at least now he had a name to put to the manipulators behind all this.
Is it over?
He asked.
I mean, are you going to need me for anything else?
Really, Pathfinder, you surprised me,
Jixtus said.
Have you forgotten your other mandate?
Keylori frowned.
Sir?
I told you to learn from me how exactly the Chiss navigate through the chaos.
Jixtus reminded him.
That is what I need you for. And that is the task you will accomplish.
Yes, sir,
Keylori said. The weight on his heart, which had been starting to lift, now came crashing back down.
I'll do my best.
Yes, you will.
Jixtus agreed calmly.
Because, as I said, we lay blame on those who fail us.
We don't get a lot about like what the Grysk are. We just get the name drop of the Grysk. That the guy that's working for Jixtus, which his name is Kalori, he is pretty much throughout the whole novel, he's been working for Jixtus, and he's been helping him doing certain plans. For instance, in this novel, there was this whole plan to pretty much have a civil war against different families of the Chiss, but Thrawn kind of saw through that, and that plan never happened. So now Jixtus knows about Thrawn through Kalori, which actually Kalori and Thrawn met, so that's how Kalori knows about Thrawn. They met in the first novel, and Kalori kind of tells Jixtus that Thrawn is why his plans keep failing. So now he mentions that Thrawn will be addressed in his future plans, and we'll see what happens in the next novel for that. What I find very interesting is that something that's said specifically is that Kalori has never heard of a species by that name, the Grysk. Which I'm questioning, like, why? How does he not know about the Grysk? Are they like a hidden part of the galaxy? Are they even from this galaxy? Why are the Grysk so scary to Thrawn? As we know that Thrawn joins the Empire to use them as allies to fight the Grysk. But the question is, what makes the Grysk so scary? What makes them scarier than the Empire and Palpatine? You know, people, they should describe Palpatine as like the devil. What makes the Grysk scarier than that? For Thrawn to need to join this tyrannical regime, that's the Empire, to use them to fight the Grysk. And the big question is, how have no one heard about the Grysk before? And are they like these super powerful aliens? What makes them so scary to Thrawn? Which I'm sure they'll explain that in the next novel, which is called Thrawn Lesser Evil. The next novel I'll be reading is Thrawn Alliances, which focuses on Thrawn and Vader, which I'll be very excited to make some videos about that. I'm sure there'll be a bunch of videos I can get into about Darth Vader and Anakin Skywalker, because I haven't done that yet. But for now, just talking about the Grysk. What makes the Grysk so scary is that it scares the Chiss, and it scares Thrawn. What makes them different from other enemies to the Chiss Ascendancy. But yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about.